Hey, welcome to Sing and Cook on Sanjeev Kapoor's Khazana. My name is Harpal and I'm going to show you today a delicious yogurt mousse with some golden apricots. Just the right kind of dish you would like for Diwali. I've been getting a lot of requests, what do we do unique for Diwali? So I thought, why don't I share this unique recipe which I've created for you. Yogurt mousse, as we call in India, Srikhand, yogurt mousse with golden apricots. So what are we going to do? The golden apricots, we need to chop them little fine. Nice golden apricots. I love the way they ooze out the color, It's just sexy enough to make the dessert very luscious and beautiful. I've chopped the apricots golden. I love them, the way it is. They're nice, little sweet. They're also a little sour because probably they're dried, dehydrated. Next step, let me heat some water and throw in the golden apricots in the water. Let them get cooked until they are soft and nice, What do we do next? I've got here saffron. Take little hot water from the pan and add it to the saffron. Hot water for the saffron so that it, gets the color nice and golden. I've also got a little rose water. Now, what is this rose water, Flavorsome rose water into the saffron. Let me keep it for some time so that, the saffron has better color in it. The next step, let me take some yogurt and mix some powdered sugar to this. Mix the yogurt and powdered sugar thoroughly. I'm not using grain sugar here, because the yogurt being thick, the grain sugar will not melt so easily. And you will, while you eat the mousse, you will still find it gritty, and you would have the sugar very unevenly spread. That's why I've used powdered sugar. Now, if you don't have powdered sugar at your home, what would you do? You would just simple, man. You just take some sugar, grind it in your grinder, and you get powdered sugar. Wow, look at the creamy yogurt mousse. Let me check the sweetness. I think I can add a little more sugar to this. Sweetness is something which you can decide. If you want it a little more sweeter and you have a sweet tooth, add more sugar. That's up to you. I leave that totally to you. Mix it thoroughly so that the sugar is uniformly spread. For me, this is the kind of sweetness I want. Now to this mousse, I'm going to add a little cardamom powder. The green cardamom that you get, it's ground to a fine powder. Nice and flavorful. Mix it thoroughly. To this, I'm going to add the saffron with rose water. Nice and yellow. Suddenly the flavor, color and texture of the mousse, everything lifts up, it gives a nice little color to the mousse and flavor of saffron, mind you. Voila, it's the best in the world. What am I going to do with this? I'm going to put it back in a refrigerator for an hour or so that it becomes nice and thick and chilled. Because this mousse, the yogurt part is chilled while the apricot part is still a little warm. So you have a nice balance of cold and warm mousse. While my yogurt mousse, I've put it into the refrigerator. Let me check what is happening to the golden apricots. They're getting cooked. You see, they need to become soft. The apricot here actually needs to be a little soft. I feel there's still little time. So let me have this cooked for another about 3 to 4 minutes and dry the water out because I don't want the water to be there. Otherwise, the mousse will become a little watery. The mouthfeel, while you have the apricots and the mousse together, will be a little watery. And I want it nice and thick, creamy. So while the apricots are getting cooked, what do I have here? Some mixed chopped nuts here, which I am going to use inside the mousse as well as on top of the mousse with the apricots so that it becomes nice and crunchy, I'm not blanching them here for the simple reason that I want the nuts to be nice and crunchy. If you want, you can roast them. and chop them so that you still get a nice and crunchy feel. Do not blanch them because, everything becomes nice and creamier. There should be some element which has a crunch. So the nuts are going to give that element. So now the apricot and the water especially is almost getting dry. Let me add just a spoonful of sugar to this. I have added a spoonful of sugar because the apricots are a little sour. So I want to kill that sourness. A spoonful of sugar and some green cardamom powder for flavor. Saffron soaked in milk. How do you do this? You just take little warm milk, a tablespoon of warm milk. To that, add about few strands of saffron to it and let it stay for some time. You see, you'll get a nice little color as I've got it here. This I'm going to add to the apricots. Mix them. And I'm going to close the fire. Take the apricots out in a bowl and cool them a bit. I don't want them to be served as hot as this is. I just want them to be warm. And now my mousse is nice and cold. My apricots are just about kind of warm, which is the way I like it. So next, I'm going to add some chopped nuts to the mousse. Mix them. See, once the mousse is chilled, it becomes nice and thick. Voila! To serve, I've got a beautiful martini glass here. And let me add the mousse first with nuts and saffron, green cardamom powder, and the warm apricots, still a little hot. That's the way I like it. On top of the mousse. Some nuts. And finally, a sprig of mint. Voila! And here's the yogurt and apricot mousse. Cold below, warm on top. Just the right kind of yin and yang. Let me taste it for you. Creamy, golden apricots, nutty. All those flavors. Just the right kind of dessert you're looking for any occasion. Diwali or Christmas.